All right, let's take a look at the different types of seeded vascular plants. All right, so this picture shows us what we've discussed before, just in a slightly different way. All right, so this shows us that these ones over here are non-vascular plants. All right, these ones over here are vascular plants. Now remember, we divided them up into seedless plants and seeded plants. All right, so we looked at some of these: the club mosses, horsetails, ferns. These are all plants that do not have seeds. Now let's take a look at the seeded plants, those plants that do have seeds. So within seed plants, there are two different types. One is called angiosperms, and one is called gymnosperms. All right, so there's two different types: angiosperms and gymnosperms. So what is the difference between an angiosperm and a gymnosperm? All right, so an angiosperm, all right, an angiosperm produces flowers. So most of the different kinds of plants that we know of are angiosperms. They produce flowers, and then they produce some kind of, angiosperms produce fruits like these ones over here on the right. So the seeds are enclosed within a fruit. In gymnosperms, they do not actually produce flowers, and their seeds that they produce are not enclosed within fruits. So in angiosperms, their seeds are enclosed within some kind of fruit-like structure. All right? So usually like an animal will come by and eat the fruit, and then its seeds will go in its droppings and be released somewhere else. For a gymnosperm, right, the seeds are not enclosed within some kind of additional fruit that an animal will come and eat. This is another picture that is showing us, some more difference. The difference again. So in angiosperms, they produce flowers. Gymnosperms do not produce flowers. So let's talk about gymnosperms first. All right. So gymnosperms, they often look something like this. These, a lot of these are conifers. So when you think about, pine trees, sequoia trees, redwood trees, all these different kinds of trees, right? These are examples of gymnosperms. So there's different kinds of gymnosperms, all right? There's three main kinds. You have cycads, ginkgos, and conifers, all right? So within gymnosperms, there are three different types: cycads, ginkgos, and conifers. So cycads produce seeds in large woody structures called cones that grow at the center of a thick trunk. So this picture over here at the bottom is showing you an example of a cycad. So cycads are gymnosperms found in the tropics that have short stems and palm-like leaves. So you notice their leaves are very long, and they look kind of like the leaf of like a palm tree. They have very short stems, so they're very short and close to the ground, and they produce seeds in these giant central cones. Here's another picture of a cycad. Notice again that has these long palm-like leaves. And then it's very short to the ground, right? So it has almost no stem. It's very, very short. And then it produces seeds in these large cones. So anything that looks like this, that is short to the ground, has these palm-like leaves, and produces seeds in cones like this, is a cycad. The second type is called ginkgos. So only one species of ginkgo exists today. This is called Ginkgo biloba. So maybe you've heard of it. People use it for different kinds of medicinal properties, right? So it has these leaves that are sort of fan-shaped, and then its seeds are round. So they do not look like a cone. Its seeds are round. So it says here, ginkgos produce round, grape-like seeds. So the other two, cycads and conifers, they're going to produce seeds in cones. But ginkgos are going to produce round, grape-like seeds that are not covered by a cone. So they are often used for in medicine. This picture over here shows us some examples of the Ginkgo biloba. So this right over here on the right is the tree. This is the fan-shaped leaf. And then, as I said, its seeds are not in a cone. They're these grape-like structures. Now, conifers are the most common type of gymnosperm. These are the type of gymnosperm that you usually think about when you think about conifers. So this group includes pine trees, cedars, redwoods, and junipers. They produce seeds in cones and have needle-like leaves, and many are green all year. So the word conifer comes from the two words that means cone bearing, right? Like C-O-N, cone. So conifers, such as pine trees, also produce cones. The wood of conifer trees is used for building and for paper products. They also produce a sticky fluid called resin used to make soap, paint, and ink. So these are some examples of conifers. Again, they have these long needle-like leaves, and they produce seeds in cones. Again, all of these are gymnosperms, right? These are gymnosperms, the conifers, the ginkgo, and the cycads. So none of these produce flowers. These are not flowering plants. These are all gymnosperms that do not produce flowers.